What if nothing in your life has ever truly been random? Not the heartbreak you endured decades ago, not the long days of labor that wore down your strength, and certainly not the quiet, perhaps lonely moments you find yourself in today. What if the very challenges that felt like heavy stones around your neck were actually the path itself, carefully carving you into the soul you are today? We often spend our youth and middle years fighting the current, trying to build walls against the inevitable tides of change, believing that if we just worked harder or worried more, we could secure a future that never shifts. But as the sun begins to set on the horizon of a long life, we are invited to see a different truth. What if the decline we fear is actually an unfurling? What if your soul, after 80 or 90 years of searching, is finally ready to find the one thing it has always craved? True, unshakable peace. You know what truly drains most people as they age? It is not the slowing of the limbs or the silver in the hair. It is not life itself. It is the constant, exhausting pressure to control everything. We worry about our health, we worry about our children, we worry about the legacy we leave behind, and we worry about the mistakes we can no longer change. We carry these thoughts like a heavy backpack on a steep mountain trail, forgetting that we have the power to simply set the pack down. There is a strange law of life that no one teaches you when you are busy raising families or building careers. The moment you stop trying so hard to force the world to fit your expectations, life starts moving in your favor. It is the paradox of the open hand. When you clench your fist, you can hold nothing but your own tension. But when you open your hand, the whole universe can flow through it. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep, slow breath. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a great golden forest. You are exactly the age you are now, with all your memories and all your scars. But in this vision, there is no weight in your chest. Your mind is as clear as a mountain spring after a rain. Imagine looking back at your younger self, that person who was always rushing, always fearing, always wanting, and realizing that you have finally arrived at the destination. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to fix anything. You are a masterpiece of survival and wisdom, and for the first time, you are allowed to just be. Did you know that your body and your mind possess a hidden ability to heal and find balance, even now, even from the deepest weariness or the longest held pains? The Buddha once taught that peace comes from within and that we should not seek it without. Today, we are going to rediscover that internal sanctuary together. Every moment of your journey, you have been carrying a burden without realizing it, the invisible weight of what-ifs and should-haves. But what if I told you that those shadows have no power in the light of the present moment? In the next few hours, we are going to walk a path of ancient wisdom together. We will explore how to turn your suffering into a disguised teacher and how to let go of the illusion of control that has kept you bound for so long. This is not about learning something new. It is about remembering something very old. It is about returning to the rhythm of the universe, where the seasons change without effort and the stars shine without being told. If you are feeling stuck, if the noise of the world feels too loud, or if you are simply searching for a way to rest your spirit, you are in the right place. As we journey through these stories of empty boats, wise monks, and the quiet power of nature, you will notice something amazing happening. Your tension will begin to dissolve. Your thoughts will start to slow down, and you will find yourself naturally sinking into a state of profound relaxation. We are here to create a community of hearts seeking clarity. If you find comfort in these words, I invite you to walk this path with us by subscribing to our channel, where every shared insight is a doorway back to your own inner calm. It is a gentle way to remind your soul every day that it is safe to let go. And I want you to stay with me until the very end, because I have prepared a powerful bonus lesson, a sacred ritual of healing that has been passed down through generations of practitioners. This final piece is the key to aligning your energy with the natural flow of life, ensuring that you wake up refreshed and carry this peace into every new day. Everything you have experienced, every loss and every gain, has prepared you for this moment of listening. You are not here by accident. There are no coincidences in a world governed by the heart. You have searched for peace in many places, but today, we stop the search and begin the realization. The truth is that what you seek is already seeking you. It is in the breath you are taking right now. It is in the stillness between your thoughts. Let us put aside the roles of the past, the worker, the parent, the provider, and simply be the observer of this beautiful, unfolding life. The path to awakening is not a distant goal. It is a slow and steady journey of understanding yourself and your place in this vast, connected world. When we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" the entire world transforms from a battlefield into a classroom. So, make yourself comfortable. Adjust your pillow or sit back in your favorite chair. Let your body become heavy against the surface beneath you. Take one more deep breath with me now. Inhale the stillness, and as you exhale, release the decades of trying to be someone else. Know that you have just taken the first step on a journey that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. You are ready to let the universe do its part. You are ready to stop interfering with your own destiny and start flowing with the grace that has always been there, just beneath the surface of your worries. Let us begin our exploration of the heart and the quiet secrets of the Buddhist path. Let's begin. Lesson 1. The wisdom of the falling leaf. Have you ever looked back at your life and felt a deep, aching pull toward the past? Perhaps you find yourself wandering through the halls of a house you no longer live in, or replaying conversations with loved ones who have long since departed. Do you feel that by holding on to these memories tightly, you are somehow keeping them alive? The weight of what used to be can become a heavy chain, making each step in your present day feel exhausting and gray. You might wonder, if I let go of these memories, will I lose who I am? The Buddha once taught, you can only lose what you cling to. This profound truth reminds us that our suffering does not come from the past itself, but from our refusal to let it pass. We try to freeze time, yet life is a river that refuses to stand still. When we cling to a version of ourselves that no longer exists, the younger, stronger, or more successful version, we miss the quiet beauty of the elder who stands here now, rich with experience and grace. Consider the wisdom of the autumn tree. As the air turns cold and the season shifts, the tree does not fight to keep its leaves. It does not mourn the vibrant green of summer or try to glue the yellowed leaves back onto its branches. The tree understands a sacred secret. It must drop what is dead so that it can survive the winter and bloom again in the spring. If the tree clung to its leaves, the heavy snow of winter would break its branches. By letting go, the tree remains standing, strong and silent, trusting in the cycle of life. I remember a time in my own life when I was forced to leave a home I loved dearly. For months, I felt like a ghost, living in the new house, but mentally wandering the rooms of the old one. I was exhausted and bitter. One afternoon, I watched a single leaf fall from a maple tree outside my window. It didn't struggle. It just floated down, landing softly on the earth. I realized then that I was the one making myself suffer by trying to hold on to a season that had already ended. The moment I mentally moved out of that past, the new house finally began to feel like a sanctuary. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale through your mouth, imagine yourself as that ancient autumn tree. Visualize the memories, the regrets, and the identities you are clinging to as dry, brittle leaves on your branches. With every exhale, see one of those leaves gently detaching and floating to the ground. Let the wind carry them away. Feel the lightness in your limbs as the weight of the past dissolves. You are not losing yourself. You are making space for peace. Ask yourself gently, what am I carrying today that is already dead? Is my grip on the past protecting me, or is it preventing me from breathing freely in the now? True freedom begins the moment you stop living in the yesterday and start honoring the today. You are not broken by what you have lost. You are being refined by what remains. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I trust the cycle of my life." Lesson 2. The strength of the bending bamboo. Do you ever feel that life has become too harsh, like a relentless wind that threatens to snap your spirit? At this stage of your journey, you may face health challenges, changes in your family, or the loss of independence. These storms can make you feel brittle and fragile. You might find yourself fighting against reality, shouting, "This shouldn't be happening," or "Why is it so hard?" This resistance is what creates the sharpest pain. When we stand rigid against the winds of change, we are at risk of breaking. The Buddha taught, "The wise are like bamboo. They bend with the wind, but never break." This wisdom suggests that true power is not found in stubbornness or force, but in flexibility and acceptance. The world will always have its storms, its heat, and its cold. We cannot control the weather of our lives, but we can control how we stand within it. Think of the bamboo tree in a tropical gale. While the great, stiff oaks may be uprooted because they refuse to yield, the bamboo bows low. It leans with the force of the wind, almost touching the ground. It looks defeated, but it is actually mastering the storm. Because it does not resist, the wind passes over it without causing harm. Once the storm ends, the bamboo simply stands back up, taller and greener than before. Its strength lies in its softness. A few years ago, I faced a health crisis that stripped away my ability to walk for several months. At first, I fought it with all my might. I was angry, rigid, and miserable. I was an oak trying to fight the hurricane. My suffering was unbearable. But then, a teacher told me to become the bamboo. I stopped fighting the pain and started accepting the rest. I allowed my life to slow down. I bent with the situation instead of snapping against it. The physical pain remained, but the mental suffering vanished almost overnight. I realized that my anger was heavier than the illness itself. Close your eyes and take a deep, nourishing breath. Imagine a strong wind blowing through your life right now, representing your worries, your physical discomforts, or your fears. Instead of tensing your muscles, imagine your body becoming as flexible as green bamboo. As the wind pushes, you simply lean. You do not fight, you yield. Notice how the wind loses its power over you when you stop resisting it. Breathe into the areas where you feel brittle and let them soften. Ask yourself gently, where am I being too rigid? What would happen if I stopped fighting this situation and simply leaned into it with grace? Yielding is not the same as giving up. It is the ultimate form of emotional mastery. When you stop resisting the storm, you find the stillness at its center. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart as we walk this path together. If you feel this peace, just type, "I am flexible and free." Lesson 3. The secret of the lotus in the mud. Do you ever look at the world around you and feel overwhelmed by its mud? The chaos on the news, the conflicts in your neighborhood, or even the difficult emotions like grief and loneliness that bubble up from within. You might think that peace is only possible in a perfectly clean, quiet place, far away from all this mess. You may feel that your own muddy experiences, your past mistakes or current hardships, make you unworthy of true enlightenment or joy. The Buddha often used the lotus flower as the ultimate symbol of the soul's journey. He said, "As a lotus flower is born in water, grows in water, and rises out of water to stand above it unsoiled, so I, born in the world, raised in the world, having overcome the world, live unsoiled by the world." This means that beauty and peace do not require a perfect environment. In fact, the most profound wisdom often grows directly out of our deepest struggles. Consider the lotus. It does not grow in clear, filtered water or in a manicured garden. It begins its life in the dark, thick mud at the bottom of a pond. The mud is full of decay and darkness, yet the lotus uses that very mud as its food. It transforms the waste into strength and pushes upward toward the light. When it finally blooms on the surface, its petals are pristine and white, untouched by the grime from which it came. Without the mud, there would be no lotus. I remember talking to a woman in her late 80s who had survived incredible tragedies in her youth. Expecting her to be bitter, I was shocked to find her the most radiant, joyful person I had ever met. She told me, "My sorrows were the mud that fed my soul. Without that pain, I would still be a shallow person. The mud taught me compassion. The mud taught me to value the light." She didn't ignore her past. She transformed it. She was the lotus in full bloom. Close your eyes and bring to mind a muddy part of your life right now. Perhaps a regret, a physical limitation, or a lingering sadness. Do not try to push the mud away. Instead, visualize yourself as a lotus seed planted deep within it. See yourself drawing strength from that very experience. Imagine a long, strong stem growing from your heart, reaching up through the dark water toward the warm sun above. Feel yourself breaking the surface of the water and opening your petals. The mud is still down there, but you are standing above it, radiant and pure. Ask yourself gently, what mud in my life am I currently resenting? How can I use this experience to grow more compassion, more patience, or more wisdom? Your history is not a stain. It is the soil of your awakening. You are not your struggles. You are the beauty that emerges from them. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I bloom from my journey." Lesson 4. The river's unstoppable flow. Do you find yourself constantly trying to fix the future or rearrange the people in your life? Do you feel a sense of panic when things don't go according to your plan? As we age, the desire for certainty often grows stronger because the world feels more unpredictable. You might spend your days mentally building dams, trying to stop the natural flow of events, hoping to keep things safe and unchanging. But this constant effort to block the river of life only leaves you exhausted and anxious. A core principle in Zen is Wu Wei, or effortless action. It is often described through the image of water. The Buddha taught that we should be like a river. A river never argues with a rock in its path. It doesn't get angry at the mountain for being in the way. It doesn't try to push the mountain aside. Instead, the river simply finds a way around. It yields, it flows, it adapts, and yet it is the river that eventually carves the deepest canyons. Water is the softest thing, yet it overcomes the hardest obstacles by simply refusing to stop its flow. Think of a river winding through a forest. It follows the land. When it reaches a cliff, it becomes a waterfall. When it reaches a flat plain, it slows down and becomes a quiet pool. It does not insist on being a waterfall when the land is flat. It trusts the destination, the vast, eternal sea. And because it trusts the end of the journey, it does not panic during the turns. The river knows that it will arrive exactly when it is meant to. I once knew a man who was obsessed with controlling his children's lives, even after they were grown and had families of their own. He was constantly building dams, offering unsolicited advice, worrying about their finances, and trying to steer their decisions. He was miserable and his relationships were strained. One day, while sitting by a stream, he realized he was fighting the current. He decided to step out of the river and let it flow. He stopped fixing and started listening. Ironically, the moment he let go, his family began to seek his wisdom more than ever. By stopping the fight, he regained his influence. Close your eyes and imagine your life as a wide, gentle river. See your current challenges as rocks or fallen trees in the water. Instead of trying to smash through them or push them away, imagine yourself as the water, simply flowing around them. Feel the ease of movement as you stop resisting. You don't need to do anything but stay in the flow. Take a deep breath and feel the current of the universe carrying you toward the great sea of peace. Ask yourself gently, where am I trying to build a dam in my life? What would happen if I simply allowed the water to flow around the obstacle today? Control is an illusion, but flow is a superpower. When you stop fighting the current, you find that the universe is actually carrying you exactly where you need to be. Just type, "I flow with life." Lesson 5. The butterfly on the palm. Are you currently chasing something? Perhaps you are chasing after the health you used to have, or chasing the approval of someone who cannot give it to you. Maybe you are chasing a feeling of enoughness that always seems to be just one achievement away. Chasing is an active, desperate energy. It is the belief that peace is out there and you must run to catch it. But have you noticed that the harder you run, the further the goal seems to retreat? Buddhist wisdom tells us that happiness is like a butterfly. If you chase it across a meadow with a net, it will always stay just out of reach. You will become hot, tired, and frustrated, and the butterfly will remain free. But if you sit down quietly in the grass, if you become still, calm, and present, the butterfly may eventually come to you. It may even land softly on your shoulder or your palm. Peace is not something you get, it is something you allow when you stop the chase. Imagine a beautiful butterfly in a sunlit garden. It is delicate and light. If you try to grab it with your fist, you will crush it. If you run after it, you will only see its wings from a distance. But if you hold out your hand, flat and still, and wait with a quiet heart, you create a space where the butterfly feels safe to land. This stillness is not passive, it is a powerful invitation. It is the energy of receiving rather than taking. I spent years of my life chasing professional recognition. I was always looking for the next win, convinced that once I reached a certain level, I would finally feel successful. I was exhausted and my heart was empty. One day, I simply stopped. I decided I was done chasing. I began to focus on the work itself and the people in front of me. I made my heart a quiet garden. Within months, the very recognition I had been chasing for a decade arrived at my door, unbidden. It landed on me because I was finally still enough to receive it. Close your eyes and imagine your deepest desire, whether it is peace, health, or connection, as a bright, beautiful butterfly. Instead of running after it in your mind, imagine yourself sitting on a park bench. Open your hands and rest them on your knees, palms facing up. Take a slow, deep breath and settle into the silence. Say to yourself, I am here, I am still, I am ready to receive. Feel the gentle weight of the butterfly as it finally lands on your palm. Ask yourself gently, what am I tired of chasing? How can I create a quiet space in my heart today to let my joy find me instead? You do not need to earn your peace through struggle. You are already worthy of it. When you stop the noise of the chase, you can finally hear the music of the soul. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you are ready to be still, just type, I am ready to receive. Lesson 6. The bird freed from the cage. Do you ever feel that your life has become a series of walls? Perhaps the walls are physical, the limitations of a room or a house, or perhaps they are the invisible walls of social isolation, or the feeling that your best years are locked away in a drawer of the past. It is easy to feel like a prisoner to your circumstances, waiting for someone else to bring you the key to happiness. You might ask yourself, how can I be free when my body is slow and my world has become so small? The Buddha taught that the greatest prison is not made of iron bars, but of our own thoughts. He said, mind is the forerunner of all states, mind is chief, mind-made are they. This means that your freedom does not depend on where you are or what you can do, but on the quality of your internal awareness. You can be in a palace and be a prisoner of your own anxiety, or you can be in a tiny room and be as free as the infinite sky. Imagine a bird that has lived its entire life in a small golden cage. The cage is beautiful, but it is still a cage. One day, the door is left open. At first, the bird is afraid to leave. The cage is all it knows. But eventually, it hops out and spreads its wings. As it soars above the trees, it realizes that the cage was never its home. Its home is the vast, open air. Your soul is that bird, and the cage is the limited identity you have lived in for decades. The door is already open. You only need to realize that you are allowed to fly. I remember a time when I felt completely trapped by a difficult career situation. I felt like I had no choices and no future. I spent my nights pacing like a caged animal. Then, I met an elderly monk who lived in a single bare cell with nothing but a robe and a bowl. He was the happiest person I had ever seen. He told me, "I am not in this room. This room is in me. The sky is in me. The stars are in me. How can I be trapped?" That shifted everything. I realized my cage was just a story I was telling myself. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Imagine yourself sitting in a small, cramped room. Now, visualize the walls of that room slowly turning into mist. See the mist dissolve until there is nothing around you but a beautiful, endless horizon at sunset. Feel the cool breeze on your face. Realize that your mind has no boundaries. You can travel to any memory, any mountain, or any star in an instant. Breathe into this vastness. You are the sky, not the bird. Ask yourself gently, what bars have I built in my mind today? What would it feel like to realize that the door to my internal freedom has been open all along? Freedom is not a place you go, it is a state of being you return to. When you stop looking at the bars, you finally see the sky. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "My mind is as wide as the sky." Lesson 7. The Mountain in the Storm. Do you find that the opinions of others or the noise of the world still affect your peace of mind? Perhaps a sharp word from a family member or a piece of bad news on the television can throw you into a spiral of upset that lasts for days. You might feel like a small leaf being tossed about by every passing wind, unable to find a steady ground. You may ask, why am I still so sensitive to the world's chaos after all these years? Why can't I just remain calm? The Buddha taught the importance of equanimity, or upekkha. He said, "Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame." This wisdom invites us to find an immovable center within ourselves. The world will always provide weather. Sometimes it is the sun of praise, and sometimes it is the lightning of criticism. If your happiness depends on the weather, you will never be at rest. Think of a great mountain. The clouds gather around its peak, the snow falls heavily, and the thunder rumbles through its valleys. The mountain does not try to stop the storm. It does not argue with the lightning. It simply stands. It knows that the storm is temporary, but the mountain itself is ancient and enduring. When the storm passes, the mountain is still there, exactly as it was. It is the silent witness to the changing sky. I once knew a man who was deeply hurt by a conflict within his family. He spent every day defending himself and feeling outraged by the storms of his relatives. He was exhausted and his health was failing. He finally decided to practice being the mountain. When the next conflict arose, he didn't join the fight. He sat in silence, breathing deeply, remaining steady. He said, "I realized the storm wasn't hitting me. It was just passing through me." By remaining unshakable, he actually brought peace to the entire family. His stillness was more powerful than any argument. Close your eyes and sit as tall and straight as you comfortably can. Imagine your body is made of ancient, heavy stone. Your base is rooted miles deep into the earth. Now, visualize a storm of noise, words, and worries swirling all around you. See the lightning and hear the thunder of the world's chaos. Notice that none of it can move you. You are the mountain. The storm is just clouds. Breathe in the cool, steady air of your own strength. Ask yourself gently, what weather am I allowing to shake my peace today? How can I return to my immovable center in this moment? You are the witness, not the storm. When you find the mountain within, the world's noise becomes nothing more than a passing breeze. Just type, "I am unshakable and calm." Lesson 8. The Wisdom of the Empty Bowl. Do you ever feel that your mind is too full? Full of old opinions, full of how things should be, or full of the belief that you already know the answer to every problem? Sometimes, the weight of our own knowledge becomes a barrier to our peace. We become rigid in our ways, and when life offers us something new or unexpected, we reject it because it doesn't fit into our full bowl. You might ask, why does life feel so repetitive and dull? Why can't I find fresh joy anymore? A famous Zen story tells of a university professor who went to visit a master to learn about Zen. As the master served tea, he kept pouring into the professor's cup until it overflowed onto the floor. "Stop!" cried the professor. "The cup is full." The master replied, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This is the wisdom of the beginner's mind. To receive the nectar of life, we must first make space. Imagine an empty bowl sitting on a table. Because it is empty, it can hold anything: cool water, nourishing rice, or beautiful flowers. Its value is not in its walls, but in its emptiness. If the bowl were already full of stones, it could hold nothing of value. As we move through the later years of life, our work is not to accumulate more stones of opinion, but to gently empty our bowls so that we can be filled with the fresh light of each new moment. I remember a time when I thought I was an expert in my field. I was so full of my own theories that I stopped listening to others. I became arrogant and eventually very lonely. My cup was overflowing with my own ego. It took a significant failure to break that cup and force me to start over. I realized that not knowing was actually the most creative and peaceful state I could be in. When I emptied my bowl of the need to be right, I finally became happy. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Imagine you are holding a beautiful, simple ceramic bowl in your hands. This bowl represents your mind. Now visualize yourself gently pouring out all your old judgments, all your rigid certainties, and all your shoulds. See them flowing out of the bowl like dusty water. Notice how much lighter the bowl feels in your hands. Now, hold that empty bowl up to the sunlight and feel the warmth filling the empty space. Ask yourself gently, what am I clinging to that is making my mind too full? What would happen if I admitted, just for today, that I don't need to have all the answers? The most profound wisdom is found in the humility of an empty heart. When you let go of what you think you know, the universe can finally speak to you. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you are ready to be open, just type, "I have an empty cup." Lesson 9. The deep roots of the ancient tree. Do you ever find yourself feeling unmoored or anxious about the future, especially as the path ahead seems shorter than the path behind? Do you feel a sense of hurry or restlessness in your spirit, as if you are a leaf being blown across the pavement? This feeling often comes from being disconnected from the ground of the present moment. We live in our heads, worrying about medical tests, worrying about finances, or worrying about what comes next, and we forget that we are supported by the very earth we stand on. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to the deathless. He said, "The mindful do not die. The unmindful are as if already dead." This doesn't mean our bodies live forever, but that when we are fully rooted in the now, we touch a part of ourselves that is beyond time and fear. Peace is not found in the future. It is found in the deep, silent ground right beneath your feet. Think of an ancient oak tree. Its branches may sway in the wind, and its leaves may change color and fall, but its roots reach deep into the dark, steady heart of the earth. The tree does not worry about the sky because it is so firmly connected to the ground. It draws its strength from the silence of the soil. As long as the roots are deep, the tree is at peace. You are that tree, and your roots are your breath and your awareness of the present moment. I once went through a period of intense anxiety where I felt like I was floating away from my own life. I couldn't sleep, and my heart was always racing. A therapist told me to go outside and stand barefoot on the grass every morning for 10 minutes. At first, I thought it was silly, but as I felt the cold, solid earth against my skin, I felt my energy drain out of my racing head and back down into my feet. I realized the earth was literally holding me up. I didn't need to hold myself up with worry anymore. I was already supported. Close your eyes and feel the weight of your body in your chair. or on your bed. Notice the points of contact between you and the surface beneath you. Now, imagine that you have strong, deep roots growing out of the base of your spine and the soles of your feet. Visualize these roots going through the floor, through the foundation, and deep into the warm, dark center of the earth. Feel the earth's stability flowing up into your body. You are safe. You are grounded. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Ask yourself gently, where is my mind wandering to right now? How can I bring it back down into the safety and silence of the present moment? The present moment is the only place where peace is real. When you root yourself in the now, you find the strength that never fades. Just type, I am grounded and safe. Lesson 10. The sun that shines on all. Do you ever find yourself holding on to bitterness or resentment towards someone from your past? Or perhaps you feel a sense of coldness in your heart, feeling that the world has been unfair and that you have no reason to be kind anymore. This bitterness is like a shadow that follows you everywhere, darkening even the brightest days. You might think, why should I be compassionate when others were not compassionate to me? But holding on to hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The Buddha taught the practice of metta, or loving kindness. He said, thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. He invited us to be like the sun, which does not choose where to send its light. The sun shines on the rose and the thorn, the saint and the sinner, without judgment. When we radiate compassion, we are the ones who are warmed by the light first. Consider the sun. It rises every morning and pours its warmth over the entire world. It doesn't ask, is this person worthy of my heat? It just gives. Its nature is to shine. Because it gives so freely, it is never diminished. When you close your heart in bitterness, you are living in a dark basement. When you open your heart in compassion, you step out into the sunlight. Compassion is not for the other person's benefit. It is for the liberation of your own soul. There was a man I knew who had been deeply betrayed by a business partner decades ago. He carried that anger like a heavy stone in his pocket every single day. He was a bitter, lonely man. One day, during a meditation retreat, he was asked to send a wish of peace to that old partner. He resisted at first, but then he tried it. He said, "May you be happy. May you be at peace." As he said the words, he felt the heavy stone in his pocket simply disappear. He realized that his anger was only hurting him. By shining his light, he finally became free of the past. Close your eyes and imagine a warm, golden sun glowing in the center of your chest. With every breath, see this light becoming brighter and warmer. Now, visualize this light spreading out of your body, filling the room and then the whole world. Mentally repeat these words. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free from suffering. Feel the warmth of this compassion softening any cold corners of your heart. You are a source of light. Ask yourself gently, who am I still holding in the dark of my resentment? How would it feel to shine the sun of my compassion on them today, just to set myself free? Your heart has an infinite capacity to love. When you become the sun, you realize that there is no shadow that can stay in your presence. Subscribe for more quiet teachings of the heart. If you feel this warmth, just type, I am a source of light. The bonus lesson. The sacred ritual of the 5-minute rejuvenation. As I promised at the beginning of our journey, I want to share with you a powerful bonus lesson, a sacred ritual that has been used for centuries by monks to heal the body and quiet the restless mind without the need for anything external. This is the ritual of the golden rain. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by the mud of life or the storms of the world, you can return to this 5-minute practice to reset your energy. Sit or lie down in a quiet place. Close your eyes and place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your navel. This connects your center of feeling with your center of being. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, and with each exhale, whisper the word release. Now, imagine a soft, golden light descending from the infinite sky above. This is not just light, it is a warm, benevolent rain of pure wisdom and healing. Visualize this golden rain touching the crown of your head and slowly flowing down through your entire body. See it washing away the gray mist of worry from your mind, the tension from your shoulders, and the heaviness from your heart. Feel it flowing down your spine, into your hips, and all the way to your toes. This golden light is reinforming every cell in your body, reminding them of their natural state of peace and health. Stay in this golden glow for a few moments, feeling completely held and nourished by the universe. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. You are not just rested, you are renewed. You are not a victim of the years that have passed. You are the harvest of a long and meaningful season. You are not broken by your scars. You are a mosaic of strength and survival. Remember, you do not need to fight the river, nor do you need to chase the butterfly. Everything you have been seeking, the peace, the clarity, the belonging, is already within you, waiting for the noise to stop so it can finally be heard. You are not declining. You are returning to the essential light that you have always been. Trust the mountain within you. Let the lotus bloom, and know that you are exactly where you belong. Thank you for walking this path of awakening with us today. Here at the Buddha Wisdom Library, we remember that nothing is a coincidence. The fact that you are hearing these words right now is a sign that your soul is ready for the peace it deserves. This is more than just a recording. It is a doorway back to yourself. Walk gently, live wisely, and carry the stillness of the mountain in your heart until we meet again. Namaste.